a ton of bricks. Doesn't matter, weak or strong. Take your time and do your tricks. All I do is sing along. Yeah, I need you around for brighter light and firmer ground. When you believe in me, blood is gonna set me free.
Good morning, guys. This is Lisa, your friendly neighborhood spoon bunny, and welcome back to the Life Spoontastic. If you're new to the channel, or even if you're not, and you find yourself enjoying my videos, if you find the information in them useful or helpful in any way whatsoever, go ahead and give them that thumbs up, hit that like button, leave me a comment, tell me what you want to hear more about, or let me know whether or not I'm even doing a good job. Hit that subscribe button by all means. Click that bell, get notified when new videos come out, and of course, share. We have to raise awareness about CRPS, RSD, of course, because it's a rare disease, and so the more people know about it, the more awareness we get. The more awareness we get, the more research gets funded, and the more that research gets funded, the closer we get to that cure, you guys. And not only that, but we need to raise awareness about chronic illness in general. Because there's still such a stigma that's attached to even having a chronic illness. And having a chronic illness is awful enough on its own without having to be labeled in any way by someone else. So let's shatter that stigma by sharing with our friends, with our family, with our caregivers, and even with the skeptics. Because, sometimes people just need to hear about chronic illness from somebody other than the person that they know in order to get it. That's just sometimes the way it works for some people. Sometimes they receive it better when they hear it from somebody that they don't know. And so share. And that way we can all benefit from having that awareness raised, and we can all shatter the stigma together, you guys. So for today's video, pardon me, I had a comment from the lovely Miss Denise C. Hi, Denise. And she asked me to give you all the name and contact number of, let me make sure I've got this right. Give us the name and contact number of somebody who can answer questions regarding the physical aspects of all body areas affected by CRPS. I can only find limited information on the legs, feet, and about spread, and that I need a person to talk to. Now the really cool part is that, I met Denise because of and through my channel, and that's really one of the most wonderful things about social media is that, it brings people together. I never would have had the opportunity to talk to or get in touch with Miss Denise any other way. Before I actually got involved with several of my support groups and with rsdsa, I had never even heard of anybody else with RSD, except maybe, someone who actually happened to be a coworker of my husband's. One person. But until I started getting involved with my support groups and the unchargeables in particular, I love the unchargeables, love my chargies. And before I started in on YouTube, I never had the opportunity to meet other RSDers out there. But again, going back to the question, giving the name and contact number of somebody that you, Denise, can talk to, I can't. That unfortunately is doxing. What I can do, if you want to send me an email in private, is give you the name and business contact information for my pain management specialist for his business, for his doctor's practice, for his office, and I can do that in private for you if you would like. But I can't just dox somebody on the open internet. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how many questions he's going to be willing to answer for you before he's going to want to see you. And so that's kind of the other purpose of me making this video, is because I kind of want to point you to some other resources of information, just in case he isn't willing or able to answer all of your questions without actually wanting to see you. And so I'm going to be going back to the wonderful rsdsa.org to answer, some of the questions that you had regarding, as I understand it, what your question actually was. As far as finding information on CRPS in the legs, in the feet, and regarding the spread of CRPS. Now, rsdsa.org is a phenomenal website for information. They've been the most solid source of information on the internet that I have found personally. When it comes to legitimate, good, thorough information. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on pause just for a moment, so that I can turn my camera around and we can look at my screen together. So here is my lovely computer screen, and as you can see, I have it queued up to the rsdsa.org website. And I've actually got it queued up to show you the research and medical area of the website, particularly the research library. If I can show you that right here, where it's right here where I've got the research library queued up here. And they've got various sections. You can look at them individually. They've got, information on cannabinoids, hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy, impairment and disability, ketamine treatment, mirror therapy. They've got a lot of different sections to look through if you so choose. It's a lot of information. And so depending on what you're actually looking for, it will dictate what, what section that you might actually choose to go through. Now, the one thing that I did find for your question in particular, Denise, as far as the spread I found a couple of articles fairly quickly, which was, give me a moment. Gosh, I'm sorry this is taking so long for me to find you guys. Like I said, this is a lot of information. They have a lot of information that you can look through and find about CRPS RSD, which can be both good and bad, depending on what you need to find out. But you need to be careful not to sort of overflood your brain with information that you may not necessarily need, because it's not, it doesn't apply to your particular case of CRPS RSD. Here we are. Patterns of spread in complex regional pain syndrome type 1. And so here we go to a very interesting article, straight off the bat. Now, most of the articles that I've read indicate that 70% of CRPS patients experience a spread of their RSD within their lifetime. And that the spread can follow certain specific patterns. It can follow a pattern of going up. In other words, the pain can spread from the foot to the leg, or the hand into the shoulder. Or it can follow what's called a mirror image spread pattern, which is a case of the pain spreads to the opposite limb, to the opposing limb, so that if you start with CRPS in your left hand, the spread goes, the pain spread goes into your right hand and up into your right arm and shoulder. So it becomes a mirror image of your original injury. Now, there are a few cases of having it just become a sort of random spread pattern. But generally, the time frame for the spread of CRPS in most cases is about 12.8 months was the statistic that I saw most recently, and that was actually that was an article that I was reading today. Was that it takes about 12.8 months for CRPS to spread in that 70% of patients. Now, in my own case, I have a 100% spread rate, meaning that every single injury that I've sustained since my initial inciting injury has become a new RSD site. And like I said, you can find just this absolute litany of information on rsdsa.org. It can answer just about any question that you have. However, if you still have questions, even after going through their research library and their resource library, you can even go as far as going to NINDS, which is www.ninds.nih.gov, which is the National Institute of National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. And once you get there, then you can search for CRPS, and it'll give you a whole new litany of articles and information about CRPS and RSD and spread and just about anything that you could ever need to know. So rsdsa.org, NINDS.gov, as well as, and I'm going to open a new tab here. The last one would be Dysautonomia International. Do they have a search function? Let me see. Well, I'm not seeing a search function, but I know that Dysautonomia International does have a few articles on CRPS, but I just wouldn't be able to find them for you right this moment. But when it comes to, you know, information, you know, rsdsa.org and NINDS, NINDS would have you completely covered. They'd have you buried in information, honestly. If you had any questions whatsoever, those are the two sites that I would most recommend that you check out, you know, because when it comes to our symptoms, and you know what? Let me just put you on pause, and I'll come right back. Okay, because I've shown you the sites, and there's no need to, you know, share my screen with you anymore. The God's honest truth is that our symptoms and our experience with CRPS, RSD, and our questions are as varied and individual as we are. And so what may affect me and what may be important to me and what I may need to know may be very different from what you need to know, or from what another CRPS patient needs to know. And so having access to all of the right information, the most complete and accurate and verified sources of information. Because let's face it, the internet's a great place is a great source of information. It's a great source of information, both legitimate and false. And so when you're trying to weed through what is and what isn't good, solid information, you kind of don't want to have to. You kind of don't want to have to do that, because your medical well-being, your medical well-being is on the line. And so that's another reason, you know, that I am here and on this channel and trying to share with you all my experience over the years. I realize it's only been 6 years and that I don't have quite the experience that maybe a 20-year RSDer might. However, I happen to have been given the blessing of having actually one of the best doctors I can possibly have, that anyone can possibly have, when it comes to having this disorder. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, you guys don't have to struggle through and wade through misinformation of any kind. All right? So, with that in mind, again, if you're finding the information helpful, if you're finding it useful, go ahead and give me that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. And share. And in the meantime, you know, no matter what information that you're looking for, I'm pretty sure that either rsdsa.org will have it, or NINDS will have it. Until next time, my friends, this is the Spoon Bunny signing off. May your spoons be plenty and your troubles be few. Have a great day.